Welcome to the Airplane Spoon podcast, where I talk about real questions and real stories about feeding children. I'm Sarina Murrell, feeding therapist and director of the Airplane Spoon, where I work with children and families navigating feeding challenges. I've been a feeding therapist for over 10 years, and I've spent nearly 20 years working with children and families in this field. Over the years, I've worked with many different settings from the NICU and children's hospitals to autism centers, home based early intervention, preschools, public schools, and today I run my own private practice. And in all of these settings, I've worked with many families who are asking the same questions you might be asking right now. How do I get my child to try new foods? Is my child getting enough nutrition? Am I doing something wrong? This podcast was created for parents who are trying to figure out how to help their children eat. Parents who are worried, parents who are frustrated, parents who feel like mealtimes have become stressful instead of joyful, and parents who sometimes feel like they might be the only ones going through this. If you're here, there's a good chance that your thoughts around feeding your child is taking up a lot of space in your mind. You might be thinking about it during breakfast, during lunch, during dinner, or in the middle of the night. Many parents tell me that when their child is struggling with eating, it feels like 95% of their thoughts are dedicated to thinking about their child eating and the conversations with their family, with their partner, everything. And if you ever found yourself searching the internet late at night, trying to find answers to these questions, you're definitely not alone. In my work as a feeding therapist, I meet families every week who are navigating many of these same concerns. Children who only eat a few foods or are missing whole food groups. Children who feel very anxious around food, who have sensory challenges with textures, or have medical experiences that make feeding difficult for them. And sometimes parents have tried everything they can think of, and they still feel stuck. What I've learned over the years is that feeding challenges are often much more complex than they appear. But I've seen children make incredible progress when they're given the right support, patience, and opportunities to learn. So on this podcast, I'm going to talk about the real questions parents are asking about feeding. Questions like, is my child a picky eater? Or why does my child say yucky to everything? Or how do I keep my child at the table? And I'm going to share real stories from my feeding therapy practice that show what this journey can look like for families. Because feeding therapy isn't just about food. Eating and feeding your child in general isn't just about food. It's about relationships. It's about learning. It's about helping your child to feel safe and confident as they have new experiences. If feeding has been hard for your family, I want you to know something important. You are not alone, and your child is not the only one who struggles with this. There are many families going through the same challenge, even though it doesn't always feel that way. My hope is that through these conversations, you'll find support, ideas, and reassurance as you navigate feeding with your child. Thank you for being here and listening to the Airplane Spoon podcast. And remember, you're doing an amazing job supporting your child on their feeding journey. You've got this. Love, enjoy, and eat. Bye.